and then I put the headsets over the top of it. There you go. That one may not work, but yep, I think we should be good. And we've got, there we are, George. Welcome. Donald, welcome aboard. Oh, doesn't have a headset on yet. Yep, we got a camera right there taking the picture. All right. Welcome. And Donald and Janet, how you doing? I'm Steve. It's a pleasure to meet you. Welcome aboard. All right. There's our Mike, our poster child for Metamucil. We have a lot of fun at each other's expense, Mike. How you doing, Anita? I'm doing great. You know, that's what I call my wife. I say, honey, I need a hug. Honey, I need a kiss. That's what I need a beer. I've been flying Hawaii now for 30 years, and I got here compliments of General Noriega. He tried to kill me September 17th, 1987, and failed. He went to prison, I went to Hawaii, and we're even. I did. I came out on top of that deal. And since that time, I have safely flown 250,000 passengers by helicopter, 6 people at a time. That's a whole lot of flying right there. All right, we're set. Let's go fly. And they've cleared us for takeoff. Look at the pheasant out your left over there. They don't even flinch when they hear a helicopter. They were hatched in the tall grass over here, so even from inside the eggshell, they were hearing the sound of helicopters. It's a normal sound for them. If you want to hunt pheasant on Kauai, bring a helicopter. They'll never hear you coming. And welcome. Isn't this a beautiful garden isle? Our 4th largest island, the roundest in shape. The only island where the main volcano is directly in the center, Mount Waiale Island. Yeah, we got one of the jets coming in for a landing. Hawaiian Airlines touching down. You can also see the main shipping harbor of Nuwili and the cruise ship. Anyone from the cruise ship? There's home away from home right there. Our office is also to the right, where you see the Blue Roof building is where you started out. You'll also find Duke's Canoe Club restaurant down there. That's a great place to go eat. Even the hors d'oeuvres are good. They have a crab, cream cheese, macadamia nut wonton with mustard plum dipping sauce. It's like doing CPR to your taste buds. It's a real winner. Good pokey too. Has anyone tried pokey? I was afraid to try it when I first got here. I grew up with a generation watching Gumby on TV. What was the name of Gumby's horse? Pokey. I thought it was horse meat. I was so relieved to find out it was fish. It's more than a job, it's an adventure. And if you recognize the music, you might recognize the stream below to your right. In Raiders of the Lost Ark, Harrison Ford comes running out of the woods, telling the pilot, "Start the engines." And that scene was filmed below to your right. That was in the movie. And he loves Kauai. Over this ridge, you'll see a beach appear where another Harrison Ford film was made. 6 days, 7 nights, most of it filmed on the beach. Recently, Harrison Ford shows up with his son, daughter-in-law, and 2 granddaughters, Sophie and Sydney, asking to go fly with me. How would you like to take the whole Ford family on a tour of Kauai all at one time? Well, over the years, out of all the celebrities I've flown, there's been only one time my wife got a little upset with me. When I was flying Holly Berry, right after we took off, she grabbed my arm and said, "Steve, I'm a little frightened. Can I hold your arm when you fly?" I said, "You sure can." And she held on tightly the whole flight. Even had her head on my shoulder for a while. And that darn inside camera squealed on me later. I had some splaining to do. If you drive over to Poipu, you'll find over there the Grand Hyatt, the Sheraton, Brennick's, Hula Grill, Spouting Horn. And when you drive there, you'll go past the Waita Reservoir without ever seeing it. And it's the largest man-made reservoir in Hawaii. Wai is Hawaiian for water. Ta is Japanese for rice. It was actually built as a rice paddy for workers from Japan working at Koloa Sugar Mill. It was built in 1837. The first sugar mill ever built in Hawaii. And we have to go through the tunnel of trees to get over there. We have a tunnel of eucalyptus planted by Valdemar Knudsen in 1863. The eucalyptus trees come from Australia. However, we do have a much more popular tree from Australia. How about the macadamia nut tree? Anyone like macadamia nuts? Oh, me too. And they're 80 calories a nut before the chocolate goes on top. How about 1,000 calories a good handful? But it turns out they are good for you. The palmitoleic acid increases metabolism, reduces fat around the heart and liver. I say, eat all the mac nuts you can eat. You're doing the body good. And if you drive around towards Port Allen, you might want to stop and visit the Kauai Coffee Company over there. They have an excellent tour, and they're very generous with their samples. You will not sleep for days if you visit that place. Even the cookies they give you have coffee in them. Much to the surprise of parents who tell their children, "Oh, no, you're too young for that coffee, but here, have some cookies instead." Instantly turn their children into the Flash. Yeah, we got the island Niihau offshore, privately owned by the Robinson family, descendants of Elizabeth Sinclair, who bought the island for $10,000 gold in 1864. Kamehameha IV, seeing the gold, wanted some more of it, so he offered for Elizabeth to buy more land out of Oahu, which she looked at, thought it was too swampy, and politely declined. She really should have bought it, because years later, they would build the Alawai Canal, they would drain the swamp. Today we call it Waikiki. Had the family bought it, by now they would be billionaires. And that's Alexander Reservoir out your left. That's an agricultural reservoir for irrigating all the coffee downhill from us by the shore. Let's take a trip into Hanapepe Valley, where I can show you the waterfalls you've seen in Jurassic Park. Remember the first movie? They show the helicopter landing in front of waterfalls. Actually, it was landing in front of a green screen in front of a hangar and put together with the waterfalls appearing to your right with Hollywood special effects. Let me know if you see a T-Rex or Velociraptor. I don't mind those. It's the flying pterodactyl. Kind of looking for those. There you go, Anita, David. You see it, George? Em, can you see it to your left? All right, let me get you lined up there. Coming back around, Donald. Enough? Gonna have a nice view over here. Isn't that beautiful? See the rainbow go right through? That's called Wainui Nui. If you see that rainbow in a waterfalls, couples are supposed to kiss. No pressure, no pressure. No one knew they signed up for the romantic flight, did they? Well, imagine exchanging or renewing wedding vows in a helicopter in front of waterfalls. I'm also licensed to perform aerial weddings and renew wedding vows for couples in places like this. Yeah, what couples like, it's beautiful and they know they come back married. Only two choices. I do or Geronimo. More pressure to say the right thing at the right time. Have you ever watched a show called The Bachelorette? I was the one flying Jillian and Reed around Maui for the finale episode. I spent the entire day with that couple, and I saw absolutely no reality whatsoever. I felt a little obligated to add some reality to that couple's direction, too. So on my way to Hana Maui to drop them off, I went by a waterfalls, turned and mentioned I could perform an aerial wedding, and Reed froze up like a deer in the headlights. That poor guy thought he was getting hitched before landing. It turned out no. He was getting ditched shortly after landing. Yeah, there's not much reality there. Now, you don't have to fly harder if you fly smarter. And the smartest way to fly is like the birds. Birds know where all the lift is. If you follow the routes they take, you can do what we're doing. We're climbing 1,000 feet a minute right now, and we're not adding any extra power to do this. It allows me to stretch out the tour further. It also allows me to show you more of the island in the time period we have. And because we're following the routes of the birds to do this, I think it's also the reason my wife calls me a bird brain. You don't suppose there's some other reason she calls me that, do you? Oh no, Steve, no, you nailed it, that's it. And we're going to change scenery and climate at the same time. All of a sudden, we'll be in a desert with cactus growing everywhere, scorpions crawling across the dirt, and less than 12 inches of annual rain. This is what Samuel Clemens, Mark Twain, called the Grand Canyon of the Pacific in 1866, after his visit. And on the shore, you'll find the river and town Waimea, where Captain James Cook became the first Westerner ever to set foot on Hawaiian soil. And there was a coincidence. During his visit, Hawaiians were celebrating Makahiki, their New Year's. They would take big, square pieces of tapa cloth made from the bark of trees, attach it to wooden poles, and parade clockwise around the shore with it.